73 years old, 3/4 of a century on this earth. I've made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, built companies, traveled the world, had 3 marriages, raised 4 kids, and lived what most people would call a successful life. My name is Jack Morrison, and there's one secret, one fundamental truth that I didn't learn until I was 68 years old, 5 years ago, after wasting decades chasing the wrong thing. If I'd known this at 25 or 35 or even 45, my entire life would have been different, better, richer, not in money but in the ways that actually matter. You want to know the secret? Here it is. You already have everything you need to be happy, right now. This moment, you just don't know it yet. I know what you're thinking. That sounds like greeting card nonsense, like something a yoga instructor would say while you're trying not to fall over in tree pose. But stay with me, because this realization, this one shift in perspective, changed everything for me. Let me take you back. 1976. I was 25 years old, fresh MBA from Wharton, landed my first real job at a consulting firm in Manhattan. 6-figure salary, which was serious money back then. I had a studio apartment, a nice car, the whole young professional package. And I was miserable, because 6 figures wasn't enough. The senior partners were making $500,000. That's what success looked like. That's what I needed to be happy. So I worked 90-hour weeks, sacrificed weekends, sacrificed relationships, sacrificed sleep, and 5 years later, I made partner, hit that $500,000 mark. And you know what? It wasn't enough, because now I knew people making $1 million, $2 million, running their own firms. That's what real success looked like. See the pattern? I spent my entire 20s and 30s climbing a ladder that had no top rung. Every goal I reached just revealed a higher goal. Every milestone I achieved just showed me someone who'd achieved more. I got married at 32, beautiful woman named Claire. Smart, funny, kind, but I was never really there. Always at the office, always networking, always thinking about the next deal, the next client, the next level. We had 2 kids, Jessica and Michael, and I missed most of their childhood. Not physically, I was at the house most nights, but mentally, emotionally, I was somewhere else, in meetings that hadn't happened yet, worried about quarterly projections, strategizing my next career move. Jessica's school play. I was there, but I was answering emails. Michael's soccer games. I showed up, but I was on phone calls. Birthday parties. Present in body, absent in spirit. Claire left me when I was 41. Took the kids. I didn't even fight it. I was too busy closing a deal that I thought would finally make me feel successful, finally make me feel like I'd arrived. The deal went through, made $2 million in 1 year, biggest payday of my life. And I felt nothing, empty, alone in a expensive apartment with nobody to share it with. But I didn't learn the lesson. I just thought I needed more. Different goals. Maybe money wasn't the answer. Maybe it was achievement, recognition, legacy. So I started my own firm at 43, poured everything into it, built it from the ground up, sacrificed everything again, missed my kids' teenage years, missed watching them grow into adults, saw them maybe once a month, awkward dinners where we had nothing to talk about because I didn't actually know them. The firm became successful, very successful. We went public when I was 51. I was worth 8 figures, featured in business magazines, gave talks at conferences. I was somebody, and I was still empty, still chasing, still convinced that the next thing would fill the hole. I got married again at 53. Woman named Angela. She was impressed by my success. I was impressed that someone was impressed by my success. We got divorced 3 years later. Turned out being impressed by success isn't the same as actually loving someone. My 3rd marriage at 59 lasted 18 months. I don't even remember her middle name. I kept working, kept building, kept achieving. Sold my firm at 64 for a number that should have made me ecstatic. Retired with more money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes. And I woke up every morning in my penthouse apartment, looking out at a view of Central Park, and felt absolutely nothing. No joy, no satisfaction, no sense of accomplishment, just emptiness. I was 65 years old, wealthy beyond measure, successful by every conventional metric, and I wanted to die. Not actively suicidal, but just done, tired, wondering what the point of it all had been. That's when I started therapy. Dr. Rosen, older guy, maybe 70 at the time. He listened to my whole story. The achievements, the money, the failed marriages, the estranged kids. And then he asked me a simple question. When was the last time you were truly happy? I thought about it. Really thought about it. And you know what memory came up? I was 19 years old, summer break from college, working a nothing job at a hardware store, making minimum wage. I had this beat-up car that barely ran. I was living in a tiny apartment with 2 roommates, and one night we drove out to the beach, just because. No reason, no plan. We brought cheap beer and a radio, and we sat on the sand and talked and laughed until the sun came up. I had nothing, no money, no status, no achievements, no plan beyond getting through the summer, and I was completely, genuinely happy. Why? Dr. Rosen asked. What made that night special? I struggled to answer. It wasn't the beach. It wasn't the beer. I was present, fully present, not thinking about tomorrow or next week or next year, not worried about impressing anyone, not trying to achieve anything, just there, in that moment, with people I cared about. Dr. Rosen nodded. And when was the last time you felt that way? I couldn't answer, because I couldn't remember, not in decades. I'd spent 40 years chasing a future that never came, always thinking happiness was just over the next hill, the next promotion, the next million, the next achievement. I'd postponed being present for 40 years, and I'd missed my life entirely. That realization broke me. I sat in Dr. Rosen's office and cried like I hadn't cried since I was a child, because I finally understood what I'd lost, what I'd traded away, all those moments with my kids, all those evenings with Claire, all those opportunities to just be alive, be present, be engaged with what was right in front of me. Gone. Forever. Because I was too busy chasing something that I already had. Dr. Rosen said something that day that I think about every single morning. You already have everything you need to be happy. You've had it all along. You just kept looking past it. I started trying to rebuild. Started reaching out to my kids. It was hard. They were in their 30s by then. Had lives I knew nothing about. Jessica had kids of her own, grandchildren I'd barely met. We started having dinner once a month. Awkward at first. They didn't trust me. Why would they? I'd been absent their entire lives, but I kept showing up, and not the old version of me, checking my phone every 5 minutes. The new version, the one who was actually there, who asked questions and listened to answers, who was present. It took 2 years before Jessica said, "You're different, Dad. I don't know what happened, but you're actually here now." "I know," I said. "I'm sorry it took me so long." I started doing things I'd always been too busy for. Took a cooking class, learned to play guitar badly, but that wasn't the point. Started volunteering at a community center, teaching business skills to people trying to start small companies, and something strange happened. I started being happy. Not the conditional happiness I'd always chased. I'll be happy when I achieve X, but real happiness, present happiness, the kind that exists right now, regardless of circumstances. I'd have breakfast and actually taste the coffee. I'd walk through the park and actually see the trees. I'd have conversations and actually listen instead of waiting for my turn to talk. I started appreciating things I'd taken for granted my entire life. My health. I could still walk, still think, still engage with the world. My grandkids, funny, smart little people who wanted to know me if I'd let them. Simple pleasures like a good book, a sunset, a conversation with a stranger. All of these things had been available to me my entire life, every single day, and I'd missed them because I was too busy looking ahead, too busy chasing more. I'm 73 now. I have maybe 10 or 15 years left if I'm lucky, and I finally understand what I wish someone had told me at 25. The things you think you need to be happy, the money, the success, the achievement, the recognition, they won't make you happy. Not really, not in any lasting way. What makes you happy is being present, being engaged with your life as it's actually happening. Not the life you're planning to have someday, the life you have right now, the meal you're eating right now, the person sitting across from you right now, the work you're doing right now, the moment you're in right now. This is it. This is your life. It's not the rehearsal. It's not the warm-up. This is the actual thing. And every moment you spend thinking about the future, planning for someday, waiting until you achieve some goal before you let yourself be present, that's a moment of your actual life that you're missing. I missed 40 years, 4 entire decades, because I was convinced happiness was coming, soon, just around the corner, after the next achievement. But happiness isn't a destination. It's not something you arrive at. It's something you experience, right now, or you don't. You already have everything you need. You might not believe me. I wouldn't have believed me either at your age. But it's true. You have this moment, this day, this life that's happening right now. You have people who care about you. You have the ability to be present, to pay attention, to appreciate what's right in front of you. That's it. That's the secret. That's what I'd give anything to have known at your age. Stop waiting. Stop postponing presence until you achieve some arbitrary goal. Stop thinking happiness is something you earn or achieve or arrive at. Be here, now, fully, with whatever you have, whoever you're with, whatever you're doing, because I promise you with every fiber of my being, decades from now, you won't regret the promotion you didn't get, or the money you didn't make, or the achievement you didn't unlock. You'll regret the moments you missed, the people you didn't see, the life you didn't live, because you were too busy planning the life you thought you were supposed to have. I can't get my 40 years back. I can't redo my kids' childhoods. I can't rebuild my first marriage. I can't reclaim all those moments I was physically present but mentally absent. But you can. You still have time. You still have today. You still have this moment. Don't waste it waiting for some future moment to be the one that counts. They all count. Every single one. This is your life. Right now. Not someday. Be here for it. That's the secret. And I'd give everything I achieved to have learned it sooner.